Okay, now we're live.
Yay!
You can come here.
Yay!
You might as well come here
Hello.
and say hello to everyone who's already here. Got a few people.
Yep.
The chat's slow. The chat's slow, so if anybody's saying anything, it takes a few minutes.
You know what?
And I always like I'm talking to myself at first.
You know what?
What?
I wonder if 2 people are Grammy and Grandpa.
I don't know.
Suspicious.
So, hello to everybody.
Hello.
I always like to wait a few minutes before I start telling story. To make sure everybody who's going to be here.
I think you said story instead of the story.
No, and now nobody's here.
No one? It's okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay. All right, you go do what you need to do, okay?
Okay.
I will be right here.
Waiting
I don't know,
for
maybe
people.
they can't hear me or something. Ava, go.
Hey.
And still nobody. So I guess I'll wait a few minutes. Oh, hi, Stieg. It says nobody's here, but there is somebody. I guess YouTube is being weird to me today. Oh, now it says somebody's here. Okay. I don't know what's going on. So, it's a short story that I will be telling today. There's not a lot to it, but it's different than a lot of the other stories that I've told because there's actually a more modern element to it. So that always makes it fun. But like I said a few minutes ago, I always like to wait a few minutes before I start telling the story to make sure that everybody who's going to be here is here. So while we wait to be ready to start the story, we can chat. Now you guys can tell me if you have a favorite werewolf story. Because I like werewolf stories. Maybe you know about one that I don't know about yet. Because I'm running out of werewolf stories to tell. It's always weird, the chat's so slow here. I always feel like I'm talking to myself. It's very awkward. I don't know. Maybe we should all just be more comfortable with talking to ourselves. I don't know. Yeah, Steve, I don't know if I have heard about your this werewolf story you're CPing for. Tell me more. I was gonna say something and then I forgot. It's always great being an awkward person, being on a live stream. By which I mean that sarcastically. You know, I don't know if I ever told you guys where, I call my videos where I do mythology and lore. I call them monsters and mythology because for a little while on my website I was trying to do that as a blog and I called it Monsters and Mythology and it was a lot of fun. So when I started my YouTube channel, I decided to bring that onto YouTube. So just kept calling it Monsters and Mythology. Since that last video, or the one video that I did about Norse werewolf legends, where I talked about, what were their names? I can't remember their names. I remember Sinfiotli, because I had to look up how to pronounce that one. No, it wasn't Sigurd. I don't think it was Sigurd. I think Sigurd was. I don't remember their names, but ever since I did that video, I have not found any more Norse stories about werewolves. I wish there were more because Norse stories are a trip. Hello, EH Demeter. I'm glad you're here. Glad to see we are getting some people here. Yeah, I want more too, because I love werewolf legends, obviously. I mean, I'm sitting here in my wolf shirt, and I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, every time I do a werewolf story now, I have these wolf earrings that somebody gave me, so I wear those every time because I'm extra like that. You did tell me you would be here, and I'm glad you are, because for a few minutes I really thought nobody was going to be here, and I was like, this is going to be a very awkward stream. I really will be talking to myself. You have to forgive me, my husband is here tonight. I did not think he was going to be here, so occasionally he's coming in with comments, so when I look over this way, I'm looking at my husband. So it's easy to lose track of time. I do that a lot. Okay, thank you. I really like these earrings, and I don't even know who gave them to me. I was in a gifting group on Facebook and somebody sent them to me. So I'm trying to wait till about 10 minutes. I feel like 10 minutes is a good chance for whoever is going to be here to get here, and we might just have everybody who's going to be here is already here. I don't know. I just like to try to give people time because, like I said, I lose track of time a lot. So, and plus with it being 8 o'clock here, a lot of people have kids going to bed at that time. Ava used to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Now she goes to bed at 9 o'clock. And I kind of didn't think about that when I scheduled this live stream. So she's supposed to be cleaning her room right now because she didn't do that earlier. So, yeah. She takes after me a little bit with not wanting to do the cleaning that needs to be done. So she has to learn to do it anyway. Parenthood is great. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this as a live stream or a video, so I wrote this like it's a video script, my introduction and everything. So I keep bumping this. I don't have my computer on my desk. I have it on a tray, and I keep bumping it. So every time the screen shakes, that's why. Trying something a little different, so I have my usual video background back here. Plus, you can see more that you don't usually get to see because you can see my pops up there. And when I record videos, you don't usually get to see those. My Doctors and my Nightmare Before Christmas and Locutus of Borg and Sailor's Neptune and Sailor Uranus. I always forget because I always call them Soledad and Odessa because they make me think of Soledad and Odessa from my story. But I like doing the live streams usually. I get very anxious right before them, but then I do them and I enjoy them and I enjoy talking to people. And especially right now with everything being crazy in the world, even my introverted soul is starting to miss interacting with people and, talking to people outside of my family. I love my family, don't get me wrong. They are very great and I am very lucky. But sometimes you just want to talk to people who you don't see every day. So it's about 10 minutes now. So I think we can get started with the story because I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long for what you're actually here for. And so this is the story of the Morbach monster, which, in case anyone missed that earlier, this is a little different from some of the stories that I've told before because there is a modern element to this story. But it's pretty short because there's not a lot of details out there, and almost every website that I found that had this story had basically the exact same thing. So It's a short story, so we probably won't be keeping you here very long. Or I. It's the royal we, I guess. I'm really good at words today, so bear with me. So, this story starts in 1812 when Napoleon Bonaparte's army tried and failed to invade Russia because, it went terribly, as invading Russia in the winter usually does. Yes, history has taught us that you really should not try to invade Russia in the winter. So, Napoleon's army ended up fleeing Russia, and eventually even Napoleon abandoned his troops, which, if you want the historical information on that, it's quite an amusing story, actually. But this story follows one particular deserter from the French army, and I'm going to try to pronounce his name. I am not very good with names, but Thomas Johannes Baptiste Schweitzer. I'm just going to call him Thomas. So Thomas was traveling with some Russian deserters on his way back to his home in Alsace, or however you say that. That is French, and I don't think it's Alsace. That makes me think of spaghetti. I'm doing a really great job, guys. I meant to look up how to pronounce that before I did this stream, and I forgot. And I think it's like Alsace, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so he was going back home to France. That's just what I should have said. He was going back home to France.
But now I'm gonna tell him being bored of spaghetti.
I'm sorry. I'm losing it. Okay. So, I'll be able to keep going in a minute. I'm sorry. I told you the words today. The words are great. I love words. They don't love me all the time. My great grandmother was a French teacher. I can just imagine the look she would be giving me if she were here right now. This was her house. She might still be giving me that look. I just can't see her. Okay, spooky things and mispronunciations aside. This group of deserters, Thomas and the Russian soldiers, were passing through the German town of Wittlich when they spied a farmhouse. The men, being tired and hungry, decided to break into the house and take whatever they wanted. Unfortunately, the farmer and his sons interrupted the burglary, and they were no match for the former soldiers. The deserters were ruthless and slaughtered the men without mercy. The farmer's wife, witnessing the murder of her family, was distraught. She screamed, and pointing a shaking finger at Thomas, who was the leader of the group, she cried out, "From now on, at each full moon, you will change into a rabid wolf." I like to imagine the curse was more impactful in the original German. Thomas, however, was unbothered by the curse and didn't hesitate to send the woman to join her family in the afterlife. But the curse worked. Though I don't think the farmer's wife could have anticipated the horrific effects of her grief and pain-fueled words. You see, it started slowly, but Thomas began to change. After the murders, he started to give in to his darkest urges, killing and taking whatever he wanted. Eventually, he grew so bad that the Russian deserters left him. Thomas then took up with a gang of highwaymen, but even they found he was too evil for their tastes, and Thomas was left to his own destructive devices. See, I can't word today, guys. I'm glad you are bearing with me. Yes, Thomas was unbothered. Yes, so they left him alone to do what he was going to do. Then the rumors began, whispered tales of mutilated cattle, slaughtered men, and a wolf that walked like a man. A farmer's daughter was assaulted and left with a child to raise on her own. Uh, Ben looked up how to pronounce it, and apparently it's Alsace? Alsace. Alsace. Okay. That is not Alsace at all. So, Alsace. Now I know. I should have looked that up before. We'll call that a lesson learned. So, a farmer's daughter was assaulted and left with a child to raise on her own. Just days after this attack, several villagers came across Thomas at his campfire. It's unclear what gave him away. Perhaps the farmer's daughter was able to give a description of her attacker. But somehow the villagers recognized Thomas as the werewolf who had been terrorizing them. Words. A+ wording today. I promise when I'm writing, this is what editors are for. Maybe I need somebody to edit my scripts for me. I don't know. So, the villagers recognized Thomas as the werewolf who had been terrorizing them. Again, the details are unclear, but the story goes that the villagers were able to chase Thomas down and kill him near the village of Morbach. They buried him at a crossing where they then built a shrine with a lit candle. Legend has it that if the candle ever goes out, the monster will return to hunt once more. Now, it is interesting to note that the farmer's daughter gave birth to Thomas's son 9 months after his death. They say that his descendants remain a respected family in that area to this day, showing no signs of having inherited their ancestors' curse. Now, this is where we get to the part that I think is kind of really interesting. That candle that I mentioned a moment ago has stayed lit, supposedly, ever since that day. That is, except for once in 1988, which I guess gives this story a little extra significance for me because that's the year I was born. Yay. Now, the U.S. had an Air Force base in Germany. That was Hahn Air Force Base. And there's a munitions site at Morbach, or at least there was. One night, a group of security officers was passing by the shrine on their way to their post at Morbach when they noticed the candle was out. Of course, they all had a good laugh about the monster and continued on their way. I lost it. Okay. Later that night, something triggered an alarm at the fence line of the munitions depot. The security officers rushed to investigate the disturbance. One of them reported seeing a huge dog-like creature stand up on its hind legs, look over at him, and then jump over the fence. That fence, by the way, was 7.5 feet high, although I did see another report that said it was 12 feet high. So they brought in a military dog to track the creature, but the dog panicked, refusing to track whatever it could smell. The candle was relit and has remained lit until this day. So, like I said, a short story. That's all there is to it. So, it is a very interesting story. I'd love to know more about the origins of it than I was able to find, because when you look for pictures of the shrine, there are 3 completely different images that show up, and it's just those 3 exact same images. So I don't know if there really is a shrine. I think it would be really cool to visit it one day if there was, but I don't know. Yes, Ben thinks it's very interesting that the Wikipedia page does not mention it at all. That's a good question. We'll have to look and see if there are some more modern stories. I think one it's not exactly the same, but I think there is a lot of similarity to the Chupacabra stories. There, what?
Sorry. I was just making it reminded me of the joke done with the Chupacabra and another video.
Oh. Yeah. I did not think to look for the shrine on Google Maps because there's not really like a solid location for it. It says near Morbach, and that's a lot of area to look at. But now I am wondering, you know what? I'm going to do that right now because I have Google Maps on my phone, and I don't even have to use my computer too. So I'm going to see. I wonder if I'm going to look for werewolf shrine. And we'll see if it shows up. Werewolf Shrine, Morbach, Germany. Okay. It sounds like a specific kind of moonshine. Werewolf Shine. Only available on the full moon.
Guaranteed to put hair on your chest.
If you market this, I get some credit. I get royalties for that. Alright, let's see. Werewolf. Wait, what is this? Werewolf Run? Werewolf Run, Moody Air Force Base in Georgia. That's something to look up later.
Yeah. At the same time, this is exactly how research goes with Carrie. She will start working with one thing and wind up on a completely different subject, possibly not even related.
Yes, that's true. I go off on a lot of research tangents. It only gives me partial matches. It just is Morbach. Yeah, it is. But I've come up with a lot of cool ideas with that going off on research tangents. My mouth does not like words today. Earlier today, I told Ben, I said, I'm going to turn on the light on. Well, it doesn't even make sense. I'm going to turn on the light on. Maybe Morbach monster. Yeah, Google's not super helpful. Although I will say Morbach, Germany looks like a very pretty place. Maybe I'll be able to go visit it one day, you know. Maybe not. I've never left the country. It's very sad. Well, Canada is a different country. So going to Canada counts as leaving the country. I've never even been to Canada.
I will say it's interesting looking at all the street signs in French.
Yeah, I'm sure that is very interesting. Yeah, I'm not saying I'll never get to leave the country, just that I never before. So I just really want to one day. Although, if I ever get a chance to travel out of the country, the first place I want to go is Ireland. That's been my dream since I was very little, so.
She wants to find a clover and get drunk.
I'm going to go to Ireland. I'm going to trade my husband to the fairies.
She might get the changeling. It's not necessarily going to be safe.
That depends on the changeling legend you're going by.
That's very true.
We just listened to a podcast last night. We were listening to lore, and there's an episode about changelings. It's my favorite episode, which is funny because he has werewolf episodes. But yeah, I could do a changeling video in the future if we're interested. Oh, see, I don't have to go to Ireland. EH says that she has a fairy ring in her yard. So we just go to her house and I can trade you.
Yeah, but then you get an American fairy and they're just going to be lazy and dumb.
No, that depends on the legend again. So. Corgis are such cute dogs, and I bumped the computer again. Oh, and I will say for the three of you that are here right now, because it is October. October is the start of my favorite time of the year. The last 3 months of the year are my favorite. So October, there's a lot going on. You've got Halloween, which is also my anniversary. No, November 7th, which is, a week after the end of October. And I know we're talking about October, but that is my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I have recently crossed the 100 subscriber mark. And, we have 2 full moons this month because we have the blue moon on Halloween. So this month, I am planning on doing bonus videos every week. So I am planning on doing 2 videos a week this month because, I like to do a whole lot for myself and make myself very busy. But my plan is to do videos on Wednesdays and on Fridays. So you will be getting some bonus content. I have a vampire video that I'm planning on doing as one of my extras. Because, October and I've already got werewolf videos, have to do vampires too, right? So, and some Preptober stuff for NaNoWriMo. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. I don't know if you guys are, but I am.
We have something else completely different, don't we?
What?
We have something completely different planned in the plan, don't we?
What do you mean? Yes, we do have something special planned for the blue moon, and my husband here will be in that video too. I'm very excited. I don't want to give away too much yet though, because you still have the whole rest of the month to wait. But something special for the Halloween blue moon. It's going to be exciting. So I don't know. Do you guys have any more questions or anything you want to talk about? This has been a very short live stream, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about, or we can go ahead and get on with the rest of our night or day or whatever it is where you are. Steve said American fairies would 100% be evil fairies.
Yes, they would.
So, well, thank you, EH. I missed last month with the live stream, and I was really mad at myself. I have all the full moons written in my planner, but I didn't keep an eye on the date and when it was. And so when my dad that day was like, "Are you doing anything for the full moon tonight?" And I was like, "That's tonight." Oh. So I missed last month, and I'm mad at myself because I wanted to do a whole year of werewolf videos on the full moon, but I failed. We can still get 11 out of the 12 months, though, so that's pretty good.
Getting two this month. We can just excuse that.
Yeah, well, maybe we can count the blue moon as a makeup video for that. So 2:30 a.m. That is. Lately, I've been up at 2:30 a.m. here, and I'm supposed to go to bed at midnight and get up at 9 in the morning. And this week, I have been failing very hard at that. So one day, I will get my life together, but this is not that day. I do not appreciate the sarcastic laughter over there.
I've been married to you for how long?
Almost 11 years. Yeah.
So one day I'll get my life together, right?
Okay, I am getting the low battery warning. Can you check that and make sure it's plugged in? Because it's supposed to be plugged in, but I'm getting the low battery warning, and I don't want my battery to die before I get to say goodbye or something. I've got my computer plugged into the charger, so I don't know why I'm getting the low battery warning. If my computer shuts off, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on because I have it plugged in, so I don't know why it's doing that. No, I did not have it plugged in. It still says it's not plugged in. My computer has been being very annoying lately. Now it's plugged in. Now it's plugged in. Thank you, love. I guess I can read him to the fairies after all.
Yes, who else would be your tech support?
Now I have to keep him. But yeah, you're probably right. I probably never will have everything completely together. I'm not sure that's possible.
Seriously,
But-
who does?
I just realized you can see my wolfies. I didn't realize that till now. That makes me happy because they're really cute.
Okay. Let's say you can see the wolf, but you can't see the bunny.
Oh, it's the bunny.
The bunny's behind your head.
The bunny's behind my. Oh, yep, there's the bunny. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but since you were nice enough to come to my live stream, my bunny, my Vorpal bunny, he's in every video that I record. Has been for a while.
Nearly every video.
Yeah, almost every video. There's one where he is actually in it and you just can't see him. But yeah, he hides in my videos. So that's something fun to look for if you ever pay attention to the background. Alright. Do we have any more questions? Anything? Because I'm running out of things to say. Yes, he's an Easter egg. My dad noticed him, and the one time when he couldn't see him, he was like, "Did you forget to put the bunny in your video?" My parents are very supportive. They watch basically all of my videos. It's okay. Don't feel bad for not having questions. It's fine. I don't mind a short live stream because, people are busy. So, they don't always have time for a 2-hour live stream always. So having mine be short, I don't really think is a bad thing. People can pop in and yeah, there are a lot of really cool werewolf stories. I've had last month's video was supposed to be about French werewolves. More than just the Beast of Gévaudan, because there are a lot of crazy French werewolf stories. So I will have to work that in again at some point because the French werewolf craze is mind-blowing. But yes, that's one of the reasons I love doing the werewolf stories, because they are very inspiring for me. I get a lot of really cool ideas. So, but I think that's everything. So I will probably see you guys next month for a live stream. I might do another one this month. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing more than one a month, so and doing more than just werewolf stories. So we'll see. I might surprise you. And I guess that's it. If you haven't already liked the stream, you should definitely do that. And I will be back with a new video on Wednesday. And yes, have fun with your mortal job, Stieg. You do very important work, so you definitely should get back to that. But I had fun. I enjoy doing these streams. I will tell her. She will be glad. And you guys have a good night, and I will see you next time.